Hi, my name is Andrew, and I am a wizardly reader. Hey everyone, welcome back to Andrew's Wizardly Reads, and as always guys, I'm Andrew, and today I got another book tag for you, but before we get to that book tag, make sure you are liking and subscribing, and hitting that bell notification so you can get regular updates for when I put out new content. I post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And that said guys, the intro was a bit on the funny side, and that's because this is my buddy Jake's original book tag. This is the Stephen King book tag that he put out a few months ago, and I was just kind of riffing on his intro. I absolutely love Jake's channel. And so I had to do it. That said, guys, this is a pretty long tag. It's 16 questions, so we should probably just jump right on into it. That said, let's see. The Stephen King book tag. Question number 1. Let's see. Name your favorite Stephen King book or one that you want to start with. So I've already started King. I've actually read King on and off all throughout my just reading life. But recently, my favorite, I could say was It, but I just read Later, guys, and Later was fantastic. I absolutely loved everything that was in Stephen King's Later. But I'm also going to answer the other half of this book because I'm super excited. I've heard nothing but great things about Stephen King's Misery. The story is supposed to be legendary. It's supposed to be just creepy and dark, and all of the goodness that is Stephen King is supposed to be embodied in Misery. And so I'm hoping to read this here soon. It's not a super long book, which always is a plus for me because I always read these big, beefy, chunky books that it's always a race to the finish line at the end of the month. And so it'd be nice to kind of just throw in a short Stephen King, which is why I Later was so good. All right, maybe this tag won't take too long because we're already on to number 3. Name a book that made me happy. And for that one, I'm going to go with pretty much anything Cradle, guys. Bloodline. Bloodline was a lot of fun. We just got a lot of great comedic moments, just heavy-hitting moments, a lot of payoff, a lot of reveals in the Cradle world. So Bloodline, I think, really made me super happy. I was just grinning pretty much the entire time I was reading this book. It's a fantastic read and a lot of fun. Just read the whole Cradle series, honestly, do it. Alright, speaking of Misery, which we've already done, the next prompt is number 4, Misery. Name a book that made me sad. This one, I just finished this one, guys, and it's Abaddon's Gate by James S.A. Corey. This book is the most entertaining 2-star read I've ever had. Specifically, you could fly 3 to 4 Hindenburgs through the logical loopholes that are written into this book. A lot of stuff just doesn't make sense. The whole half of this book literally just happens for no particular reason, and you don't get a whole lot of explanation on how this has come about and why this is happening. And so I just think that this is the weakest expanse. Now, don't get me wrong. I've got all of these in hardcover, and I really enjoyed the book. It was super entertaining. And, I also listened to the audiobook. The narrator delivers a fantastic performance, which has honestly saved the series for me. Because if I didn't know any better, I would stop here. This book was not very good. But that said, I will be continuing The Expanse, but super, super, super sad. Because it wasn't that good. Alright, number 5. Cujo. Name your favorite animal companion. Guys, that one's easy. I skipped number 2. I did. I've been, shuffling books through the stack going man, where does this one go? So, I decided to take a look. I skipped to number 2. So, we're going to go back to number 2 and then go forward to number 5. So, number 2... is Nightmares and Dreamscapes. Name a book that gave you nightmares and kept me up late. I don't really get nightmares about the books that I'm reading. It's just not something that I have to deal with. But if I was going to have one that gave me nightmares, it would be The Aching God by Mike Shell. This book is full of nightmare sequences, and those nightmare sequences are borderline Lovecraftian. So, yeah, just zombies and talking decapitated heads and, yeah, ugh. No. So yeah, Aiken God gets that honor. Okay, now we pause. Time travel back to the 5th prompt, like we did this all in order. So number 5, Cujo, favorite animal companion. And, you know, so far, like, I've got, like, 3 series with fantastic animal companions. I heard there's a 4th that will be appearing on my TBR, but I haven't gotten there yet. So, of course, we got to talk about my boy Night Eyes. Night Eyes is a fantastic, loyal, just bad brother of an animal companion. Like, guys, I love Night Eyes. He's this gruff kind of wolf, old man, just... You know, quit your complaining, we are pack. Like, I love Night Eyes. Night Eyes is fantastic. And one of the high shining points of Realm of the Elderlings, honestly. Alright, number 6, Dr. Sleep. Name a book that bored you to death and made you fall asleep. I honestly, like, continuously unhaul books that make me fall asleep and that I find boring. Like, I don't keep those around to, like, hold up. And so I'm really struggling to think of one for this. It could be like, I mean, Shadows of the Apt. There was times where I was just bored out of my skull, like I just didn't care what was going on. There's sometimes, like Memories of Ice by Steven Erikson. I just didn't enjoy that book pretty much at all. So those are a couple that I could use there. I hope to get back to Malazan someday, but like for now, like it's on pause. Because my experience with Memories of Ice was just not the greatest. Alright. The Eyes of the Dragon. Name your favorite book series with dragons in it. So, okay. I wanted to be cheeky and hold up the Wheel of Time. I did. I wanted to be cheeky and be like, it's got a dragon in it. No, it doesn't. It's got a dude named the dragon in it. And then, of course, there was, like, you know, I was like, oh, I could do Dragonlance. But, like, the dragons aren't, like, done super well. And so I was struggling. Like, the fantasy books that I read don't tend to have a lot of dragons in them. But I am loving Anthony Ryan's work. And he does have a series called Draconis Memoria. Now, I haven't started this yet. But I've heard a lot of great things. This is, like, urban fantasy-ish industrial revolution with dragons. And for that reason, like, I've got a lot of hope that this is going to be the series. I guess I could plug. Right now, I do have a book that I am reading that does have dragons. So this is a hopeful. One that I'm currently reading is Shadowless by, I believe it's Richard McNally. I think I've said his name right. I don't have it in front of me. I'll put it right there. The dragons in here, when they do pop up, are really cool. So I'm really enjoying... this book so far. It's a really interesting structure. Once I'm done with it, because I've got a review copy, I'll be doing a dedicated review for it, so you can keep an eye out for that. I just dropped all of my books. All right. Okay, so we just did Eyes of the Dragon. So it's number 8, 4 Past Midnight. Name a book that stayed up way too late trying to finish. Guys, like, I'm super excited about this, and I got a physical ARC for this, and of course I'm going to be buying the actual release as well. This is not out yet at the time of filming, but that's going to be Daniel Barnett's Lily. Guys, this book is fantastic. This book is the thickest Nightmareland book to date, but I stayed up way too late trying to finish this. Like, I was clocking in hours, just like, because if you've read any of the other Nightmareland books, they're all very short, and so like I had a digital ARC that wasn't formatted or anything like that. Like, it was a Word document that I slapped onto my Kindle. And so I'm just, like, scrolling, like, because it wasn't giving me accurate time. So I was just sitting there going, like, when will it end? When will the ARC complete? And then when I got to it, like, oh, this book hits. This book slaps. Just, slap it. I threw in a little Daniel Green slap there. I don't feel good about it. I'll apologize to the book after the video. I'll probably take it out to dinner. Okay, let's see. So we've done 4 Past Midnight. So that's number 9. End of Watch. Name your favorite last book in a series. And this is one I read last month. Guys, Snuff to end out the City Watch collection, which I'm counting as a series. This was so satisfying. This was the snapshot of Sam Vimes that I've always wanted. And this just hyper focused on Sam as a character, and I love this character, and I am so happy that if it had to end, it ended here. So this is the City Watch just ends with a song. Like it is so satisfying. I really enjoyed the experience of reading it. All right, number 10, The Outsider. Name your most unpopular opinion that makes you feel like an outsider. I've kind of touched on this before. I don't have, like, new unpopular opinions. Like, I've vocalized these before. Personally, like, I feel like some self-pub series far exceed their traditionally published. Like, if I'm gonna give an example, I would rather read Cradle 9 times out of 10 over Stormlight Archive. Like, it's just, I get a lot more faster progression. I can feel a lot more accomplishment. I have a lot of fun. It's full of just emotion and heart and progression, and it's just a fast-moving story. Versus, their like Rhythm of War just didn't work for me, and like nobody likes my favorite Stormlight book, which is Oathbringer. Yeah, Oathbringer is my favorite Stormlight book, which everybody doesn't like. So we'll see how I feel upon reread. But I think I would reach for Cradle before I reached for something like Stormlight Archive. All right. So with that out of the way, Rage. Name a book that you rage quit /DNF. It used to be the 5th season. I've now finished the 5th season. So my new one is the Poppy War. Like specifically the series. Like I've read the Poppy War. I didn't enjoy that experience at all. And I just recently rage quit the Dragon Republic. So yeah, that's going to be the answer for that one. 12 different seasons. Name your favorite seasonal book. And I don't understand what this means. Like, I'm not a seasonal reader. So, I'm going to choose a book I can read in all seasons. And that's going to be The Eye of the World, my favorite book of all time. And yeah, I could read this in winter, summer, fall, autumn. Yeah, it's a multi-seasonal book for me. So that's my answer. It's a cop-out, and I don't care. Finders, keepers. Name your most prized possession, rare and expensive book you own. So I'm going to go with cost per page. And that's going to be this trilogy by Anthony Ryan. These are all Subterranean Press. And if you know anything about Subterranean Press, you're going to pay out the wazoo for the books. And this is the Seven Swords trilogy. I'm assuming it's a trilogy. So far, there's only 3 books out. But we've got Anthony Ryan, Song of Cities. That's the 3rd book. The Kraken's Tooth by Anthony Ryan. That's book 2. And then A Pilgrimage of Swords. I have yet to get to these, but just from the cover art and the fact that they're novellas and written by Anthony Ryan, yes, please sign me up. All right, let's make sure that those don't fall. 14, we're getting close to the end. Later, name a book that you keep putting off and telling yourself that you're gonna read. It's gonna be Soul Keeper by David Dalglish. Like, this is book 1 of the Keepers trilogy. I've got all 3. They're right here. If you've watched my videos from the beginning of time, or at least since I started filming in this location, they've been there, and I have yet to read them. I've put them on my TBR like 3 times, never once got to them. And I keep telling myself, yeah, I'm gonna get to it. I mean, and this is the first book is the biggest of them. The next 2 are like a lot shorter. I just can't seem to get to it. I don't know what's going on with me. Someday, somehow, I'll fit it in. We'll see. I could have also said The Emperor's Blades, but I'm finally adding that to the TBR because that's Alan's next read-along. His Discord read-along is going to be that trilogy, The Chronicles of the Unhewn Throne, which, yay, I get to finally read it. All right, number 15, Desperation. Name a new release that you are desperate to get your hands on. For me, I think that's going to be Daniel Abraham's Age of Ash. A, the cover just looks awesome. And B, I'm enjoying The Expanse no matter what I just said about it earlier. Like, it's super entertaining. Daniel Abraham is part of that author duo. I'm reading Long Price Quartet right now. I'm about to read the 2nd book on Long Price Quartet. I'm really enjoying Daniel Abraham. So I'm excited to see what Age of Ash has in store for me as well. And that means we have come to number 16. Tag your friends or tag your fellow constant readers. I only know a few constant readers. So the first person we're going to be end up tagging is my good friend Mazza Booktuber. Mazza is also like part of the driving force that got me back into reading Stephen King. He's always just like, Andrew, you gotta read some Stephen King. Andrew, you want to join our read along for this? And it got me interested. It got me intrigued. Mazza is a great booktuber. I'll have his channel linked down below. You should check him out. But Mazza, I am tagging you. Another person who I know doesn't do a lot of tags. She doesn't do tags very often. But I gotta tag my good friend Sarah Reads. She is a constant reader. I had a great discussion with Sarah on Stephen King's It, which was a fantastic book. We had a whole gush fest about the book, and we accidentally read it for the first time in the same month, and it was a delight just sharing my thoughts with her. So I'm going to tag Sarah, even though I know she doesn't really do tags. And then another person who doesn't really do tags, I've got to tag Mike from Mike's Book Reviews. He is Lord Multiverse. Like, he is the initial spark. Like, between Jake, Mike, and Mazza, like, I got back into King. And so I'm going to tag Mike because I think Mike would absolutely kill this tag, and he would have some great answers. So that said, guys, that is the end of the tag. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of some of my answers. What would you have chosen instead? If you want to do this tag, all of the prompts are going to be in the description box down below. Or if you want to talk on a more regular basis, make sure to check the description for the link to the Wizzly Duo Discord. We would love to have you there. Or if you want to support the channel on a more regular basis, you can go ahead and sign up for the Patreon. Your support is always appreciated. And that said, guys, that's the end of the video. So, till next time, peace out, stay magical, bye. And as always, I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons, as well as a special shout out to my newest high tier Wizard Master patron, Cody. Thank you very much.